What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Red Sea Radio. My name is Corbin, and today marks the 52nd day of the MLB lockout. Honestly, it's getting pretty depressing saying that every single video, so I might stop doing that, at least at the beginning of these videos. Let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think. Obviously, I'll still do it on days where there is big news and stuff like that, but every day it's starting to get a little bit depressing. There is news, however, about the MLB lockout today. The MLB Players Association has publicly announced that they are making a counter proposal to the MLB. They have not scheduled a date or honestly released any details of that proposal, so we don't know a whole lot, but at least it means they're starting to work on it. As for today's video, it is Saturday, which means we are doing another installment of Fenway Futures, a series where I pick a prospect, a top Red Sox prospect, and talk about who they are, how they play, and what their future on the Red Sox might be. If you guys enjoy that type of content, first of all, make sure you are subscribed to the channel so you do not miss a video. Second of all, I do have a playlist on this channel that has all of the previous Fenway Futures videos on it, so check that out if you're interested. As always, make sure to like the video too. Thank you all very much for clicking on this video. Let's get into it. As you've seen already, the player I want to talk about today is Jeter Downs. Jeter is actually named after Derek Jeter, and he was drafted in the 2017 draft by the Cincinnati Reds and was acquired by the Red Sox through the Mookie Betts-David Price trade in 2020 with the Dodgers. I'm sure all of you remember that trade, so I'm not going to go into a ton of detail on that, but he is the fifth highest ranking prospect for the Boston Red Sox, but he's not in the top 100 prospect list for all of the MLB. He's actually the first player on this channel that we have talked about that hasn't been on that top 100 list. At the plate, Jeter Downs is a very patient hitter with very good plate control. Over his years in the minors, he has added mechanics to his swing that has given him pretty decent power for a second baseman with his build. Is he ever going to be a super slugging second baseman? Most people say no, you never know, but he definitely did add some power to his swing. Right now, his scouting hitting report is graded at a hitting 50 and a power 50 as well, which puts him right in the middle on both. In 2021, he had a little bit of a tough season. He played all of his 2021 season with our AAA affiliates, the Worcester Red Sox, where Jeter had a 190 batting average, a 606 OPS, a slug of 333, 14 home runs, 9 doubles, and batted in 39. But again, with the way this guy approaches his at-bats, combined with the mechanics he's added to his natural swing, most people, including the Red Sox, believe that Jeter Downs is going to be able to turn that around and become a very good hitter at the major league level. On the field, Jeter Downs has very smooth mechanics with soft hands, but unfortunately doesn't have a super strong arm. You may have noticed at the beginning of the video, I included shortstop in his prospect position, and that's because he has been playing some games at shortstop, but it's more than likely as he gets into the majors, he's going to find himself as strictly a second baseman because of that arm. Now, it's kind of weird when Jeter is expected to come up because MLB has him coming up in 2021, which makes no sense. So I'm thinking it might be a typo. Most other places have him somewhere in 2022. I've noticed with the guys who are about ready to come up, like him and Cassis, that the date that they are supposed to come up is really different depending on where you look. And I think it's because most people are trying to get it down to almost the month when they come up. But I have them scheduled somewhere around later in 2022. That means that he's going to be up next year, which is going to have an immediate impact on the Red Sox. The question is, what does that look like? Of the top 5 prospects for the Red Sox, 3 of them are middle infielders. The difference between Marcelo Meyer, Nick York, and Jeter Downs is that Jeter has had the time and opportunities to develop parts of his game that Nick York and Marcelo Meyer just haven't had the ability to do yet, which means we are more than likely going to see Jeter Downs before we even hear about the possibility of Nick York or Marcelo Meyer coming up. The question is, where does he fit in this 2022 team? And I think a lot of that is going to have to do with what we do in the free agent market after this lockout ends. If we end up getting someone who can either play second base full time or get someone who's going to kick Kike out of the outfield and into second base full time, we more than likely aren't going to see Jeter Downs in a full-time position at any point in 2022. Obviously, there might be injuries and stuff like that that could have him in there, but if everyone stays healthy, we probably won't see him in a full-time position in 2022. More than likely, we will see him as a backup second baseman who is kind of the guy to plug in somewhere when someone needs a day off and stuff like that. Maybe a pinch runner in a certain situation. He'll be utilized, but I don't think he will be an everyday player. Now, what does that mean for the future of Jeter Downs? I'm honestly not entirely sure. Like I said, we've got 2 of the top 100 prospects in our farm system who are second base shortstop guys. And realistically, I like Nick York a lot, and I could see him being an everyday second baseman. At least we'll be able to see Jeter Downs for 2 years. Personally, I think that Jeter Downs will end up as a very valuable trade piece and do very well on another team. But really, it's hard to predict these guys, you know? They're prospects, and it's almost impossible to predict a prospect's career based on their time in the minors. There are guys who did really well in the minors, came up and stunk, and there are guys who did terrible in the minors but came up and absolutely crushed it. So who knows what the future for Jeter Downs holds. In my opinion, I think it'll be a trade. Let me know in the comment section down below. What do you guys think of Jeter Downs? Do you think he is the future second baseman for the Boston Red Sox? Do you think he gets shipped out at some point? And just what do you think of him in general? Because there's a million ways that this could go. As always, if you've made it to the end of this video, make sure that you've hit that subscribe button and make sure you've hit that like button as well. Thank you all very much for clicking on this video, and I will see you in the next one.